Welcome back to the English classroom. My name is Nisha and today's session is on figures of speech. We will cover 8 different figures of speech which will help you understand your prose and poetry better. We will cover the rest in the next class. Hope you liked the previous video. If you haven't seen it yet, please check the link below. A figure of speech is a word that possesses a separate meaning from its literal meaning. It adds color and interest and increases the imagination level of the reader. It creates a picture in the mind of the reader and can be used for dramatic effect. Let us understand a few figures of speech today in this class. Also keep in mind, if you like this video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. The first one, simile. A simile is used to make a comparison between two unlike things in an interesting way. To make this comparison, it uses words like or as, which is used in a sentence to make the comparison. Now, for example, he is as busy as a bee. Here, he is compared to a bee who is always known to be busy. And here we have used the word as to make the comparison. The second one, the dress is perfect because it fits like a glove. Fits like a glove. A glove always has a perfect fitting. So here, like again is used to compare the dress and the glove. These are examples of a simile. The second one, metaphor. Now, a metaphor is used to compare two unlike things which may have something in common. Now, you may immediately think that is exactly what a simile does. However, the exception is that in the metaphor, we do not use words like and as to make the comparison. The comparison is more indirect and therefore cannot be taken literally. You need to put in a little more effort. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Life is a roller coaster. Now here, life is compared to a roller coaster which has a lot of ups and downs without using the words like and as. The second one, your brain is a computer. A computer is capable of so many things, multitasking. Similarly, your brain too is capable of so many things, and hence you compare your brain to a computer. These are the examples of a metaphor. The third one, personification. Now, a personification is a figure of speech wherein we assign human qualities to something which is not human. Now, here we are referring to an idea, an object or animals. It is used to bring an element of fun and interest in stories and poems. It is what the writers use to bring non-human things to life. Let us understand this with the help of a few examples. The moon smiled at the stars. Now here, the moon is given the human quality of smiling, and this is the personification in it. Here, the lightning danced in the sky. Here, dancing, which is again a human quality, is given to the lightning. These are examples of personification. The next one is the hyperbole. Now, a hyperbole is an exaggeration used for emphasis or humor. It is used to bring out strong feelings and is never taken in the literal sense. Let me explain this to you with the help of an example. I have a ton of work. Now here I could have said I have a lot of work, but to emphasize that I have so much of work to do, I said I have a ton of work. The second one, I have told you 1,000,000 times not to do that. Now, I have really not told you this 1,000,000 times, but just to emphasize that I have told you this many times and you shouldn't be doing it, I have used the word 1,000,000 times as a hyperbole in this statement. The next one, an apostrophe. Now do not get confused with the apostrophe, which is also a punctuation mark, but here we are going to deal with apostrophe as a figure of speech. Now an apostrophe is an arrangement of words which is used to address a non-existent person or idea as though it is present and is capable of understanding the feelings. An apostrophe involves speaking directly to someone who is non-existent, dead, or an inanimate object. Here are two famous examples of the use of the apostrophe. One, the famous nursery rhyme, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." Now here, the child is talking to the star and it's a clear example of an apostrophe. The second one, a famous Christmas carol, "Oh holy night, the stars are brightly shining." In this too, here we are talking to the night, which is actually an inanimate object, and talking to it directly. The next one, the alliteration. Now the alliteration is a figure of speech based on sound. Now here there is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words. Now these kind of words are used to keep the reader interested, and it is used to add a sense of style and make the words more memorable. Alliteration is most often used in poems. Here are a few examples to understand it better. She sells seashells by the seashore. Yes, a tongue twister. But if you see, the consonant sound S has been repeated, which makes the line very interesting and memorable. The second one, don't drink and drive. You may have seen these signs everywhere. This too uses alliteration to make it memorable for the drivers. Now, if you thought this is only restricted to poems, there are also a few brand names which have used alliteration to make it memorable for their final customers. For example, Coca-Cola, Kit Kat, and even Mickey Mouse. These are using alliteration to make it more memorable for the end customers. The next figure of speech is an onomatopoeia. Now I know it may sound difficult, but it is the easiest of the lot. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech where words or phrases indicate sounds. Let us understand this with the help of examples. The buzz of the bee. Now, buzz is the sound that the bee makes, and here the word itself represents that sound. Next, hiss of the snake. Now, if you hear a snake ever, you will realize that it hisses, and this word represents the sound the snake makes. Thus, the onomatopoeia is used to emulate the sound of an object or a person. The last figure of speech for today is the oxymoron. Now, the oxymoron is a figure of speech in which two opposite ideas are placed side by side to create an effect. Now, it is used to bring an element of drama, or at times used to bring an element of sarcasm when in speech. Now, let us understand this figure of speech better with the help of an example. There was a love-hate relationship between the two countries. Can you identify the two opposite words here? Yes, the opposite words put together here are love and hate. Here we're trying to say that they had both positive and a negative kind of relationship and between these two countries. The second one, there was an employee in the office who was regularly irregular. Now here we are trying to bring an element of sarcasm where we are trying to make fun of someone by saying that he was regular only in one thing, that is to be irregular. Now these are the examples of an oxymoron. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Tune into the channel next week for another video. There are many such interesting videos coming your way. Until then, happy learning.